Imagine waking up every day feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or empty, but being unable to explain why. You try to keep going, to put on a brave face, but deep down, you know something's not right. Millions of people worldwide suffer from depression, but talking about it is still a challenge. Why is depression so difficult to discuss? And how can we change that? In this video, we're going to explore the stigma surrounding depression and how we can start meaningful conversations about it. First things first, what exactly is depression? A lot of people think depression is just feeling sad or down for a few days, but it's much more than that. Depression is a serious mental health condition that affects not only your mood, but also how you think, feel, and even function day to day. Here are some of the most common symptoms of depression: persistent sadness, emptiness, or hopelessness, loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed, fatigue or a lack of energy, difficulty concentrating or making decisions, changes in appetite or weight, trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, feelings of worthlessness or excessive guilt, thoughts of death or suicide. Depression can last for weeks, months, or even years. For some people, it may come and go throughout their lifetime. It's not something you can just snap out of or think your way out of. That's why it's so important to talk about it, to raise awareness, and to support those who are struggling. If depression is so common, why is it still so hard to talk about? There are a few reasons. Fear of judgment. One of the biggest reasons people don't open up about their depression is the fear of being judged. They worry that others will see them as weak, lazy, or just looking for attention. They might think, what if people don't believe me? Or what if they think I'm just overreacting? These fears can make it incredibly difficult to reach out and ask for help. Stigma around mental health. Despite all the progress we've made in understanding mental health, there's still a lot of stigma attached to it. Some people think that mental health problems aren't as important as physical health problems, or that you should be able to get over it if you just try hard enough. This stigma can make people feel ashamed or embarrassed about their depression, making it harder for them to talk about it. Lack of understanding. Many people simply don't understand what depression is. They might think it's just about feeling sad or being in a bad mood, without realizing that it's a serious condition that affects every aspect of a person's life. This lack of understanding can lead to dismissive or unhelpful comments like, "Just cheer up," or "It's all in your head." These kinds of responses can make someone with depression feel even more isolated and misunderstood. Difficulty expressing feelings. Depression can make it really hard to put your feelings into words. Sometimes people with depression feel numb or disconnected from their emotions, which can make it difficult to explain what's going on inside. Even if they want to talk about it, they might not know how to start the conversation or describe what they're feeling. So, why is it so important to talk about depression? Why can't we just keep it to ourselves and deal with it on our own? The truth is, silence only makes things worse. Here are a few reasons why talking about depression is so important. Reducing isolation. Depression can make you feel incredibly alone. It can make you believe that no one understands what you're going through, or that no one cares. But talking about your feelings can help break that sense of isolation. It can remind you that you're not alone and that there are people who care about you and want to help. Encouraging support. When you open up about your depression, you give others the chance to offer support. Whether it's friends, family, or a mental health professional, reaching out can lead to the help and resources you need to manage your depression. Sometimes, just knowing that someone is there for you can make a world of difference. Raising awareness. Every time someone talks about their experience with depression, They help raise awareness. The more we talk about mental health, the more we educate others about what depression really is and the less stigma there is. Over time, this can create a more understanding and compassionate society where people feel safe discussing their mental health struggles. Early intervention. Talking about depression can also lead to earlier intervention. When people feel comfortable opening up about their feelings, they're more likely to seek help before their depression becomes severe. Early intervention can make a big difference in managing depression and preventing it from escalating into a crisis. Starting a conversation about depression can feel scary, but it doesn't have to be. Whether you're opening up about your own struggles or trying to support someone else, here are some tips for starting the conversation. Be honest about your feelings. If you're struggling with depression, it's important to be honest about how you're feeling. You don't have to have all the answers or explain everything perfectly, but try to express what's going on in your mind. You could start by saying something like, "I've been feeling really down lately, and I think I might be struggling with depression." If you're worried about how someone else is feeling, ask them how they're doing in a gentle and non-judgmental way. You could say, "I've noticed you haven't seemed like yourself lately. Is everything okay?" Or, "I'm here if you ever want to talk about what's going on." Listen without judgment. When someone opens up about their depression, the most important thing you can do is listen without judgment. Avoid offering solutions or trying to fix their problems. Instead, focus on validating their feelings and letting them know you're there for them. You could say, "I'm really sorry you're going through this," or "It sounds like you're dealing with a lot right now." Offer support, not solutions. While it's natural to want to help, offering advice or solutions can sometimes come across as dismissive. Instead, offer support by asking how you can help. You could say, "What can I do to support you?" Or, "Is there anything you need right now?" Sometimes the person might just need someone to listen. Other times, they might appreciate practical help, like accompanying them to a doctor's appointment or helping with day-to-day tasks. Let them take the lead in telling you what would be most helpful. Be patient and persistent. Depression can make people withdraw, so they might not want to talk right away. Don't take it personally if someone doesn't open up immediately. Be patient and let them know that you're there whenever they're ready to talk. You could say, "I'm here whenever you feel like talking," or "Take your time, but know I'm always available to listen." Encourage professional help. While talking to friends and family is important, it's also essential to encourage professional help. A therapist or counselor can provide the support and treatment needed to manage depression. You could say, "Have you thought about talking to a therapist?" Or, "There's no shame in getting professional help." It could really make a difference. If the person seems hesitant, you could offer to help them find a therapist or even accompany them to an appointment. Sometimes, just knowing that someone is there for support can make the process feel less intimidating. Breaking the stigma around depression requires action from all of us. Here's how we can start. Educate yourself and others. The more we understand depression, the easier it becomes to talk about. Educate yourself about the signs, symptoms, and treatments for depression, and share that knowledge with others. By raising awareness, we can help break down the misconceptions and stigma surrounding mental health. Speak openly about mental health. When we talk openly about mental health, we normalize the conversation. Share your experiences with depression if you feel comfortable, and encourage others to do the same. The more we talk about it, the less shame there will be. Offer empathy and compassion. When someone shares their struggles with depression, offer empathy and compassion, not judgment. A kind word or a listening ear can make all the difference. Let's create a culture where people feel safe and supported when discussing their mental health. Talking about depression can feel intimidating, but it's one of the most important steps we can take to break the stigma surrounding mental health. By being open, honest, and supportive, we can create a world where people feel safe sharing their struggles without fear of judgment. Remember, you're not alone in this. Let's break the silence together.